Hello friends, Kenji aka Numat the Nummy back again for another edition of Drafting with Numat here on Numat Gaming and YouTube. This time we have a triple Zendikar draft. Triple Zendikar is the current Flashback draft on Magic Online, and it is known as one of the fastest formats around. So let's jump in. And, well, okay. Problem being here, we opened a fetch land, and we opened a Vampire Nighthawk. Vampire Nighthawk, easily regarded as the best uncommon, not close in the format. In fact, it's better than almost all the rares. 2 black, 1 for a 2/3 flying, death touch, lifelink. If I'm drafting correctly, I take the Vampire Nighthawk here. If I'm drafting for Magic Online, I take the Arid Mesa, which Arid Mesa is still perfectly good. Fetches are great in this format because of landfall. For example, step links, 0/1 for 1 white, but whenever a land enters the battlefield in your control, it gets +2/+2. So landfall creatures do have merit. The question is, what do I value more? Arid Mesa is worth about 10 tickets, which pays for the draft. Vampire Nighthawk is a card that can definitely win the draft. But I think if you're drafting on Magic Online and you're just going for straight value and being able to continuously play, I think you just have to take the land there. Unfortunate as that is. This next pack, we got past a Felidar Sovereign, which is good. But the thing is, in this format, it's about quickness. 6-drops are actually kind of hard to cast in this format because this format is so much based around low drops, 2-drops, etc., etc. So I think Core Skyfisher is actually a better pickup than the Sovereign, although Sovereign is obviously a better card. Inferno Trap also in the pack. Problem is, if I take Skyfisher here, then I'm also passing the Sovereign, which is kind of a signal. But I think here we'll go with the Skyfisher and kind of cross our fingers. Next pick we have a pretty poor pack. There is a decent white card in the pack in the form of Armament Master. There are a lot of equipment, most of them pretty poor, but some are decent. This is a 2/2 for 2. Other core creatures you control get +2/+2 for each equipment attached to it. And Core Skyfisher, of course, a core. Here I think the correct pick is actually Surikar Marauder. 2-drops are the king in this format, and a 2/1 for 2 that can gain Intimidate is actually quite solid. Armament Master, not very good, especially if you don't pick up any equipment, so I think here I'm happily going to take the Marauder. We're passing things like Primal Bellow, Hagra Crocodile, and a Heartstabber Mosquito, but happy to take the Marauder there. And get past a pretty poor pack. There are 2 fine cards in this pack, Crypt Ripper and Core Cartographer. I'm going to take the Ripper here. Just does a lot of work in this format, and a lot of times you want to go heavy black. Not only is black generally regarded as the best color, but you can really get some nice payoff cards like the Crypt Ripper, Mind Sludge, etc., etc. So we'll go ahead and take that. Again, I know it's awkward since I passed a Vampire Nighthawk, but if I just cut it off, then I think we'll be rewarded in the next pack. Here, I think I'm going to take Adventuring Gear over, say, like Vampire's Bite, or Hedron Crab. Ice Cream Man, if you guys can hear that in the background there, driving by. Adventuring Gear, again, goes with that landfall mechanic. Already very good with the Arid Mesa I picked up, and lends to that very aggressive strategy. Okay, another decent white card here. There's also a Goblin Shortcutter, which is good. Funny enough, Reckless Scholar, not so good in this format. Looters, very, very good in Limited in general. Not in this format, though. I'm going to happily take the Pitfall Trap here. If you're able to pay 1 white to deal with an attacking creature, it's just great. Alright, another kind of poor pack. Explorer's Scope is not exactly the equipment you're really looking for. It can have its utility, but I think it's just a lot worse than Adventuring Gear. I think I'm going to happily take the Soulstare Expedition here. It continues to cut off black after passing that Vampire Nighthawk, and it's actually just very solid in general. Because a lot of times you're just trading off your 2-drops and whatnot, so being able to get them back for value is quite nice. This pack's quite bad. 3 mana for a 2/2 that can't block unless you control a vampire. Obviously not very good. Refuge is fine, although you don't want to be playing more than 2 colors in this format. And if you are, you're probably in allies. But the pick here for us is kind of poopy. I think we'll take the null, just in case. Like, it's a fine playable creature, if nothing else. Yeah, I'll run back the null, but again, these cards are 2 black creatures that I'm not looking to play. Right now, pack 1 has not gone very, very great for us, except for the fact that we've already gotten our draft entry fee back by opening the Arid Mesa. Kind of all over the place. I'm hoping the person I'm passing to avoids the Vampire Nighthawk, or rather, they probably took it, but then they just didn't see any black afterwards, so they might try to get out of it, which would be nice for me in pack 2. Alright, a few last picks here. Piranha Marsh is fine, especially if you're going to be heavier black. Just nice utility. And there's some ways to bounce lands in the format. I think the best one is like Living Tsunami, 4/4, flyer for 4. But we have the Core Skyfisher already, which can get some slight value with the Piranha Marsh. Re-enables landfall, if nothing else, on the Skyfisher. Okay, actually, Hagra Crocodile and Vampire's Bite are both perfectly fine. In fact, I'm really happy that the Crocodile came back. In a black deck, this can do just a ton of work. It doesn't look very good, but this card is very aggressive. Alright, nothing here for us. We'll just take a Sajiri Step, or rather Refuge. Nimbus Wings, we can absolutely play that. This doesn't look very good in most limited formats, say for like Theros. This would probably be quite poor, but like suiting this up on even just a Hagra Crocodile can end the game very, very quickly. Okay. First back didn't go too bad. Despite passing a really awkward signal, I think we're doing okay so far. Actually, we passed 2 awkward signals, didn't I? I passed the Vampire Nighthawk and took the Arid Mesa, and then I took the Core Skyfisher and passed the Felidar Sovereign. But I've made my decision, and again, Zendikar is an interesting format, not like many other formats you've probably played before. So while you might think that my picks are awkward, you have to give it in context. Ooh, baby! Well, we opened, I think, probably the best rare in the format, or rather best mythic. Obnixilis the Fallen, 5 mana for 3/3 landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player lose 3 life, and you put 3/1/1 counters on Obnixilis. So, generally, you wait until you can play a land immediately after casting Obnixilis. That way, it immediately turns into a 6/6. And it's just a lot safer that way, but man, this card is completely insane and brutal, and really happy we got it there. Next pack holds nothing amazing in black and white. Another Crocodile, but the last one wheeled. Core Outfitter is fine, but not amazing. Rite of Replication is really, really fun. 2 blue, 2 colorless. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature. If Rite of Replication was kicked, put 5 of those tokens onto the battlefield instead, and then you can kick her at 5, right? So you pay 9 mana and you get 5 copies of a creature onto the battlefield. Kind of sweet. I could look to move out of white if I want to and take like the Windrider Eel or Inferno Trap. But, I mean, Hagra Crocodile and Core Outfitter are both fine here. Definitely not an amazing pack. I think I might stay open and just take Inferno Trap. Losing out on one of these cards is just not relevant at all. Okay, in this pack we have a pretty easy Journey to Nowhere. One of the best removal spells in the format. There are ways to get rid of enchantments, but 2 mana to just exile a creature is very, very good. We have one of the better green commons in the format in the Grazing Gladeheart. 2/2 for 3, but landfall you gain 2 life, and that definitely builds up. Sellsword is fine. Lots of allies in the format, just like the Highland Berserker is an ally to synergize with, but really happy to take Journey. I think that pretty much solidifies us into black-white. Wow, and some good picks here. Steplinks, Lacerator, Blade Master, Mind Sludge. Narrow Escape Wombo combos with Journey to Nowhere, because unlike cards they print nowadays, like Banishing Light and whatnot, Journey to Nowhere you cast, and with the trigger targeting a creature on the stack, you can Narrow Escape it back to your hand. That creature gets permanently exiled, and then you have Journey to Nowhere to exile another creature. Well, again, again, looking to cut these mindless nulls for sure. I think I'm going to end up taking the Kazandu Blademaster here. On its own, it's a 2/2 first strike vigilance for 2, and then any more allies you get just make it completely crazy. I wouldn't mind taking some of these other cards, though, and even Oran Reef Survivalist and a Kazul Warlord. Very, very good cards. I could consider splashing this, but I think we'll play it safe and just take the Blademaster. Probably going to end up taking another Pitfall Trap here over Core Cartographer. Yes, this doesn't hit flyers, but cheap removal like this is very good. Okay, Ondu Cleric or Heartstabber Mosquito. Baloth Woodcrasher is an insane beating, but like I've been talking about, it's frequently hard to get to a lot of mana in this format just because it's so quick. That being said, if you resolve a Woodcrasher and are able to attack with it in the next turn after getting landfall, yeah, you have an 8/8 Trampler. Territorial Baloth in the same category as the Woodcrasher there. Again, for us, we have the Mosquito and the Cleric. Geyser Glider, also a nice one in the red decks. After taking the the Kazandu Blademaster, taking the Ondu Cleric is tempting. That would only be my second ally, though. I think Heartstabber Mosquito would probably be better in general, but I'll take the Cleric here and see if we can do some silly things. Now, this pack is quite poor, for us anyway. Hellfire Mongrel's perfectly fine. I guess I'm just going to take the Bold Defense here as a fringe playable, not one that I'm not too happy with, though. Surprisingly, wow, so red is just super open, it looks like. But surprisingly, Pillarfoiled Ox is a house of the format. 2/4 blocks basically everything, and I'm actually pretty happy to take that. I should get rewarded in pack 3 with more black. It looks like the player to my left is probably in black right now because I passed that Vampire Nighthawk. We're seeing a ton of good red cards go by, but again, I'm going to ignore those signals and, wow, happily take the Core Sanctifiers here and try to stay in black, especially since I opened the Obnixilis here in pack 2. Core Outfitter, not bad. I do have Ed Adventuring Gear, and if we're lucky enough, maybe we can get a what's it called? Trusty Machete in the last pack. Grim Discovery, also not terrible since we do have Arid Mesa, and it just gets back a creature otherwise, but yeah, just red is super open in this direction, and in general, it seems. Ooh, Step Links and Narrow Escape. Those are both good pickups. I think here we want the creature more than the bounce spell. And at this point, I might be looking to cut the Crypt Ripper. We're going to be pretty heavy white over black, but again, I suppose in this third pack where we should see a lot more black, so maybe the Crypt Ripper should stay. I think right now, in my position, though, if I had moved into red-white, our deck would be very, very good. Okay, last few picks. None of these cards are very playable, so just take them and pass them on. Take the full art land. Nah, I'll take sideboard card, I guess. All right. So first 2 packs, again, weird signaling, but that's because I opened a money card and passed a Vampire Nighthawk. Iona, huh? Well, Iona, unfortunately, not castable, and she's only worth about 2 tickets, so can't really feasibly take her here. I think we're just taking the Giant Scorpion. This card does not get enough love. 1/3 Death Touch in this format is just very, very good and very, very annoying. Other cards we're passing, a 3rd Pitfall Trap, Umara Raptor, one of the better allies for sure. There's a Vines of the Vastwood, another Ox, and a Grim Discovery, but happy to take the Scorpion here and see what we get past after that. Not too bad here. Another removal spell in the form of Arrow Volley Trap, which can be an extreme blowout. Blazing Torch is just decent enough. Another Core Skyfisher, which I'm probably going to end up taking because I need more creatures. And then some other fringe cards. Seagate Loremaster is great for the ally deck. It's just so weak by itself and expensive. But if this gets going, it's hard to lose the game. Here, I think I'm happy to take the 2/3 flyer for 2. Okay, wow, another very, very good pack. Jeez. Balaged Thief is fine, not amazing. Living Tsunami I was talking about earlier. Burst Lightning, just great. Core Hookmaster, great. Sellsword, pretty decent. Especially since I ended up taking a few allies. But I think it's probably the Core Hookmaster here over the Nimana Sellsword. And then we have some other good playables like Vines, Territorial Baloth, etc. Very good pack. This pack not so good for us. I think I'm going to end up taking another Hagra Crocodile over Makindi Shieldmate. Again, I just didn't pick up enough allies in the first few packs to really make me want to take the Shieldmate here, which would pump the Blade Master and gain extra life from the Cleric, but I think we just want another aggressive creature like the Crocodile. Well, there's another Cleric there. Gonna have to take that. Wow, so this must be a print run, the Woodcrasher and the Geyser Glider, because we've seen that those uncommons together before. Interesting. Wow, I think that's the third or fourth Geyser Glider we've seen. Like a 4/4 flyer in red for 5 is perfectly fine. Brave the Elements, pretty good here in our almost exclusively mono white deck. And another Step Links or a third Ondu Cleric. Like honestly, the Ondu Clerics are awkward here because we're not really doing the ally theme. So Step Link seems like it could be a better pickup in all honesty. But I think just for the cool factor, I'm going to go with a triple Cleric. Yeah, and now we're happily going to take that Makindi Shieldmate. All right. I think there's even that other Makindi Shieldmate that we could potentially wheel. And then we can just start cutting black cards, like Ripper's out. The double Crocodile could honestly come out. And then I end up splashing like Obnixilis and basically running mono white otherwise. If that's the case, I probably want to cut the Surikar Marauder too, because we're not going to have it down early. And I think we still want to run the Soul Stare Expedition. Okay, this could be a thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's a thing. It might be correct to run like the Hagra Crocodiles instead now. Ooh, another Nimbus Wings. Interesting. We could totally do this. Second Nimbus Wings. I'm just going to hate on a Sky Ruin Drake here. We don't need a second Bold Defense. In fact, I probably don't even want to run the first one. Maybe even cut the Giant Scorpion, which seems weird, but probably correct. Okay. Well, generally you want a slightly different deck than the one we have here, but hey, this might work out. This might work out. Alright. So we did not wheel the other Shieldmate, unfortunately, but I think we still have a decent deck. Mono white splashing for Obnixilis doesn't seem too bad. Probably end up cutting the Soulster Expedition, actually, since you want that early, and if we're just splashing, so we're probably going to run like 6 swamps, we're not going to have this early enough to really matter. In which case, I might just put the double Crocodile in for more aggro. Plus, with double Nimbus Wings, Crocodile aggro is actually a thing. Another thing about this format, you usually run 18 lands. If you have any decent number of landfall cards, lands just turn into spells. And you really don't want to miss your land drops for the first few turns. If you do, you just generally get overrun. Although I guess with triple Ondu Cleric, that might be a little bit harder for us to do. This deck is kind of all over the place, though, in all honesty. Step Links and triple Ondu Cleric are kind of doing polar opposite things, but I think I like where we ended up. We can splash the black cards because they don't come down until later. And our white is actually pretty solid. So I'm going to give this a shot. 18 lands. We're going to run the Kabira Crossroads because it's value. Not only do we gain 2 life, we can also bounce it with the Core Skyfishers. But then we can also run the Arid Mesa and the Piranha Marsh. So let's go like this. 18 land. I want at least 6 black sources. So this is 12-6 right now. I could probably go 11-7 to play it a little bit safer. But I think 12-6 is probably fine. This does hurt Obnixilis, but again, you don't want to cast him until you can play a land immediately following, so I think this should be okay. 12-6, 11-7. Yeah, 7 just seems like way too many. So we'll run it like this, and we'll see you guys back for round 1. Thanks for tuning in. Here we are for round 1 of our triple Zendikar draft with our mono white, basically splashing like Obnixilis. We're gonna be on the play, and yep, this hand's good. Turn 1 step links. It's gonna probably get in for quite a bit of damage, I would imagine. Ondu Cleric, not exactly the aggressive 2-drop we were looking for, but if I'm able to draw like a Core Skyfisher, it's gonna be really solid. Oh no! The Kraken Hatchling! That's actually brutal. I think I might just Journey to Nowhere that. I mean, this seems really loose, but we have a Pitfall Trap for any later shenanigans, and that Step Links is going to do a lot of damage now that that Kraken Hatchling's out of the way, assuming the opponent doesn't have a second one. Alright, so... oh, that's funny. Alright, Step Links getting in. Hopefully we can draw like a Hagra Crocodile next turn, I guess, too. And the nice thing is, with double Core Skyfisher, we can always reset the Journey to Nowhere if we draw one of them and we need it later, which is very, very nice, obviously. Nimbus Wings, eh? Okay, so let's play a land. I think we want to just keep Nimbus Wings on the Step Links and bash in. If the opponent wants to trade their Scholar for my Cleric, I'm more than happy to let that happen. We'll just take 4 and go to 11. And we've kind of ran out of gas, but hopefully we can find some more stuff to get there. Blue has a lot of bounce spells and things like that, Paralyzing Grasp, which can kind of get us. I'm going to happily Pitfall Trap this, though, if the opponent attacks instead of loots. Alright, another land, not what we were looking for, but we do have double black now for Obnixilis. So now we can cast Obnixilis and play a land immediately should we draw them. Kazandu Blademaster. Alright, Windrider Eel from the opponent, 2/2 flyer for 4. Landfall gets +2/+2. We'll just have to pass now. Again, we've kind of stalled out and need to find some more gas, but opponent's not putting us under much pressure, and we've gained a bit of life. Umara Raptor, one of the best blue allies. One of the just best allies in general. If they don't have a land here, though, that's not good for them. In fact, it looks like they're holding back the Windrider to potentially double block my Blademaster. Okay. So the thing is, I only have, what, 4 or 5 allies total in the deck, so I think it's actually correct to attack in with the Blademaster here. And offer the 1-for-1. Trade it for the Raptor. If the opponent double blocks. If they don't block, that's obviously great for us too. We'll just pass here holding onto the lands since we don't need to play any more out. But the fact that we know the opponent's on mono spells in hand is also not great for us currently. Okay. Windrider Ear going in. I'll fall to 21. And let's see what the opponent's got to follow up. Ah, just a Mosquito Hardcast. Or non-kicked. Alright. This is one of the issues of running 18 lands, but again, it doesn't take very much for us to turn these lands into useful cards. There's the double block that we were expecting. I'm going to go ahead and trade away with the Raptor here. Raptor could potentially get bigger than the Blademaster allows for. And yeah, obviously I do get a little bit punished if I draw an Ondu Cleric next turn, but there are, what, 2 left in the deck of 26, so I think getting rid of their flyer that can potentially grow is better right now. Brave the Elements. Okay, that's a good draw. I can actually give the Step Links Pro Blue at end of turn to knock off the Paralyzing Grasp. Because unlike giving something hexproof, protection makes enchantments like the Brave the Elements fall off. So that's good for us. Alright. So we'll choose blue. Should this resolve? There's no, like, negate in the format, though. I mean, it's like Trap Master's Snare or something. I don't even think that does anything. Another Pitfall Trap. Pitfall Trap's not very good versus this opponent, by the way. Since they have, looks like, to be mono flyers. Alright, let's attack in for 3. Step Link's back in action. Alright, opponent falls down to 5. Double Looter. Like I said during the draft, looters aren't that great in this format. Oh no, a Spreading Seas on one of our swamps is actually kind of gross. Again, another card that's not very good, but right now it could be good if I happen to draw my Obnixilis. That's kind of brutal. Looks like the opponent might just be chumping. Alright. There's another swamp. Yep, just going to go ahead and play that out. We want to keep enabling landfall for Step Links. Extremely happy here if the opponent just chumps with their Heartstabber Mosquito. Into the Royal. Sure. That seems fine. And remember, Pitfall Trap can't hit flyers, which is why I didn't use it on the eel last turn. Alright, opponent using their Scholar, discarding a Mind Sludge. Yeah, I would probably discard Mind Sludge too if I only had one swamp. Ah, Disfigure end of turn takes care of my Step Links, sure. Alright, well, we're back into a position where... Oh, a second Spreading Seas? Really? I mean, I guess, but... Card is just... so fringe. That's wrecking me here, though. I'd be very, very sad if we lose this game because of Spreading Seas. So that probably means we'll have to bring in some more swamps for the next game. Oh, I didn't even notice the Scholar was attacking. I should have definitely Pitfall Trapped it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm happily going to go ahead and try to hook the Mosquito if the opponent doesn't have a counter here. Which it feels like they might. Bash in for 1. But yeah, totally meant to Pitfall Trap the Scholar. I didn't realize it was attacking. There are some Island Walkers in this format. Oof, Marsh Casualties. That's one of the best uncommons in the set. For sure. We can still win this game, but it's definitely going to be a little bit harder. And with another land draw, that's probably going to be the end of it for us. Of course, Skyfisher would have been very good. Still is fine next turn, actually. We have 2 in the deck. And now it is not good enough. And we drew another land. Alright, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lands versus 9 spells. Yeah, that's generally not going to do the trick. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I still think 18 lands is definitely correct, but I think I will take out 1 Plains and add another Swamp because the opponent's running at least 2 Spreading Seas. Yeah, but other than that, I think we just reship and hope to not draw so many lands. Alright, game 2 of this triple Zendikar draft. Lost game 1, we're on the play for game 2. This ends fine. Actually decent, honestly. We get to go Undo Cleric and equip it up with Adventuring Gear and maybe even the Nimbus Wings and start going to town. Hopefully we don't get disfigured. Wow, drew 3 of my swamps. Interesting. Oh, does the opponent have disfigure? We might disfigure this. Yeah, maybe not. If they were going to disfigure, they should have done it with the Undo Cleric trigger on the stack. Spreading seas on my plains. Wow. Well, we do have a million more white sources than black sources in our deck, so hopefully I don't get ruined by that, but that's... I can't imagine the spreading seas are as good as they are right now in general. Like, that's just kind of absurd. Luckily, we still have things to do. Ooh. Wow, Arid Mesa was a spicy draw. So we'll get to attack in for 3 here, play the Hogra Crocodile, and then potentially double trigger landfall next turn. Oh, that seems sick. Hopefully, opponent doesn't have the Marsh Casualties. If they just cast Marsh Casualties, I think we just lose this game instantly. Again, one of just the best uncommons in the format, and giving -1/-1 to both these two creatures right now is backbreaking. So, hopefully they just play it on the random flyer, and then I'm able to Nimbus Wings up our Hogra Crocodile and bash in for, let's see, it'll be 3... Actually, if I equip the like, if they just play a random ground creature, I equip Adventuring Gear to Hogra Crocodile, that's 3, 7, 11, 12 damage in the air. Oh, baby, that would be spicy. No plays. Okay. Interesting. Well, we saw Into the Royal, and we saw Disfigure, so I guess I'm just going to play the Mesa, double trigger, and then attack, because I don't need to do anything else. I'm not going to run into that much open mana willy-nilly. Opponent made a mistake here. They're going for Disfigure on my Crocodile, but now I get to fetch in response and give it +2/+2. All right. Yeah, and we just get to attack for 10 now. Would not be surprised if the opponent jumped. Not going for the Nimbus Wings because they could still have Into the Royal, and we have another play that we can make in the form of Pillarfield Ox, so seems good to me. Okay, looting. Discard a swamp. And will they take 5? No, they're not. They will Into the Royal. Okay, but they lose their Reckless Scholar here, which is nice. I'm going to replay out the Hogra Crocodile. And again, still a little bit owned by a Marsh Casualties, but the Mana Sellsword is not going to cut it. Would love to draw land here. Land would have been decent enough, but no, now that they use their bounce and they only have 1 mana open, I think we go for the Nimbus and start bashing in the air. And we'll equip the Adventures to the Crocodile now, so if we draw land, it'll become an 8-power flyer, which seems pretty good. These enchantments aren't great from what we saw versus the opponent. Into the Royal, Paralyzing Grasp. Wouldn't be surprised if they have like a Whiplash Flare, but that's good for us if they're just playing a random Dirtle out. Another Nimbus Wings. This one I'm not going to play out. We'll happily just attack in for 4 here and play out the Pillarfield Ox. We have lethal next turn with the next Nimbus Wings. And if the opponent's game plan is to play a flyer, we can Journey to Nowhere it. Yep, there's a flyer. So if we hit a white source, we win. Actually, if we just hit any land, we win. Because it'll double trigger the Hogra Crocodile. Brave the Elements. That does not quite win. Okay, which means I can just Nimbus Wings up our Pillarfield Ox and attack. 4/3 flyer, 4/3 flyer, and a 3/6 flyer. Opponent has to chump one of them with a Mara Raptor if they don't have another card to find here off the Reckless Scholar. Alright, it's good for us. They fall to 3. And we have 2 lethal creatures in the air next turn. I guess Whiplash Flare is the only thing we're scared of. Paralyzing Grasp doesn't do it. And if the opponent lets me untap, then we just win the game. Yep. Alright, so let's attack in for 3. Of course, Skyfisher also a very good draw here. Scholar, hope to loot and to find something, I guess, but then we still just brave the elements and win. Alright, so we took game 2. Nimbus Wings, while not good versus the opponent, I don't know if there's much I can really sideboard in. Like Marauder's not good versus them. I guess Scorpion's probably fine, as is Soulstar Expedition. It's possible I'm supposed to cut one of the Nimbus Wings for Soulstar. That might be correct. Let's try that. Also, let's just draw Obnixilis and the opponent not be able to deal with that, and we just draw a bunch of lands and win. That's also good too. We'll reship for game 3. Alright, here we are for game 3, round 1, and oh boy, this is a hand. I'm on the draw. I have 17 lands in the deck. If I hit a land, this hand basically just wins. And the opponent mulliganed? Okay, I'm going to get super greedy and keep this hand here. But this could obviously bite me in the butt. But with any land, this hand just goes off. It doesn't even have to be a plains. And I have 2 draw steps. Oof. Yeah, alright. So Kabira Crossroads was perfect. We get to play a turn 2 Kazandu Blade Master. And if the opponent doesn't have like their Disfigure, we just completely start wrecking them with the ally that gets pumped. And them leading on double island is probably a good sign, but I guess they probably just drew that. All right. So let's Cleric up and see if they have the Disfigure. If not, we get to hit them for 3. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the nice thing is this has Vigilance, so Paralyzing Grasp doesn't hit it. And wow, this hand just developed real nice. We're missing lands, yeah, but the opponent's not doing anything over there. I think I'm actually going to miss a point of damage and by not playing Cleric and instead attack with both, play Core Skyfisher, see if the opponent has a bounce spell. Oh, they have a Hideous and... Oh, God, why did they wait? Man, if I had drawn my... Brave the Elements, they just lose there. They knew we had it in our deck, too. Let's get value from our Kabira. Two, 5, all right. Need to find another land. We hit there luckily off the first draw, but now we're not drawing any lands. So 2 lands in the top 12 cards of our library when we have 18 lands in the deck. All right, there we go. Hit a land. I'm gonna Hookmaster their Sky, Ruin Drake, and bash in for 4. Nice, nice. Opponent on. Lots of land over there, it looks like. Ooh, and a Mosquito taking care of my Core Skyfisher. Alright, that's pretty good. Not a bad one to have when you're flooding out. I mean, I guess I attack for 2. Nimbus Wings on Core Hookmaster doesn't really do much. I think I'd rather save it for the Hagra Crocodile. And we'll just play out our Shieldmate, because why not? Gain 6. Go up to 34. Opponent over there on 8 lands. And pass. Alright, there's a black source. I am running into a Marsh Casualties, but again, there's not too many ways to really affordably play around that card in most scenarios. If they find a Spreading Seas for my... they Into the Royal their own Mosquito so that they can recast it and kill my Crocodile, I assume. As I was saying, though, if they cast Spreading Seas on my swamp, I can just Core Sanctifier away. Oh, it just looks like the mosquito. Killing the croc, I would assume. Yep. Alright, and we're kind of in a stalemate here. Neither player really able to do much. That's an interesting draw, but not good enough right now. That could allow me a nice alpha attack at some point, but... Alright, Soul Sword doesn't do anything by itself. I might want to just Nimbus Wings one of my creatures, in case the opponent starts attacking with their flyers. Interesting. Okay. Well, now I can Nimbus Wing the Core Hookmaster and get in for 3. Ooh, a double Soul Sword. That's actually terrifying. 2 cards left in the opponent's hand. We're going to hold land for landfall purposes, but we'll Nimbus Wings up our Hookmaster and bash in. I might actually want to play the Swamp out in case I want to, or the Plains out in case I want to Pitfall Trap plus Brave the Elements. That is reasonable, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Right. Yep. So we'll Pitfall Trap the 4/4. Hold up Brave the Elements. Ooh, Sea Stalkers. Not doing too much here. I guess I could tap down my Shield Maid and let them attack in with their 3/3. Yeah, we're in a position where we just pass now. We are at a healthy life total, though. Sea Stalker can tap down any creature without flying for 1 blue and 2. Hey, there's an Obnixilis. Now we just need to find a black source. Now we just need to find another black source. Ah, alright. Well, this is going to be a nice blowout. The opponent's going to try to play the Mosquito again and kill my Core Hookmaster, but I'm going to, in response to them casting it, cast Brave the Elements, which means they have to kill one of their own creatures here. Because all of my creatures are white. Oh, this is sick. So I give Pro Black. They have to target one of their own creatures now. It's not a May. Brutal. Brutal. Double bounce spell on your own Heartstabber Mosquito is quite solid, though. Not gonna lie. Yeah, so opponent just went and killed their 3/3. Seems pretty good. And a Reckless Scholar for good measure. Oh, man. As soon as I hit another black source, we are just in such good shape. But right now, the opponent just starts to get to loot. And we know they have Mind Sludge in their deck, too. Oh, no. So if they find Mind Sludge before I'm able to find a swamp, that's really bad. Okay, there's the Spreading Seas. We get to Core Sanctify that, luckily. Hopefully. Yeah, man, if they draw up Mind Sludge, I'm such... Oh, God. Such wrecked. We drew the second swamp. Now we need to fade the Mind Sludge. Now we need to fade the Mind Sludge. Because I can immediately deal 6 damage to them with Ob Nixilis. But they get a double loot to find Mind Sludge too. Oh no. The sweat! The sweat is real! Oh no. No sludge, please! I guess I have a Soul Stare Expedition somewhere in the deck that can potentially bring back Ob Nixilis, but... Okay, well. Oh, you know what this is? This is Marsh Casualties, is what they're trying to do here. This is Marsh Casualties. I think that's actually okay. Make them pop the casualties now. They only get to kill my Hookmaster and 2 Clerics. So that's not that bad for me. And that means they're unlikely to loot for a Mind Sludge. And now we just get to resolve Ob Nixilis. Instantly play an Arid Mesa. And if I get another turn with Ob Nixilis, we should win. Oh, they might have a counter in their deck. Fair. Nope, no counter. All right. All right, good shape. I'm going to wait for them to tap down my Ob Nixilis end of turn and then pop the Mesa just to automatically assured that I get in for 3 more points of damage to leave them at 1. Yes! Also, Ob Nixilis is a 9/9 right now. Gonna be pretty hard to kill. Hideous End doesn't kill it because he's pro-black, or rather, a black creature. And opponent's just looting, so that means they need to find an answer. And that should be the game if they don't find something. Lethargy Trap? Nope. Not good enough. Big Daddy Ob Nixilis gonna get there in the end? We will find out. All it takes is my turn of a land. Windrider Eel, not good enough. And bam. And that, friends, is why Ob Nixilis is so freaking good. It just fades so much removal in the formats. If you're able to play it and then immediately play a land to make it a 6/6, and then it just takes over the game. So, round one. We will see you back for round 2, which starts conveniently for you guys on YouTube or Numod Gaming instantly. Round 2 here of this triple Zendikar draft. Yeah, we're going to keep this hand on the draw. It's not great, but definitely not something that you can mulligan away. Ooh, our opponent's down to 5 cards, potentially even 4. And even though this format is definitely known as very, very quick, because our deck has a lot of ways to combat the quickness, I think this is fine. Ooh, speaking of ways to combat quickness, how about a life gain land? Seems good to me. Opponent playing red, so I'm going to assume they have a 2-drop, and if they don't, that's great. Nice. Ooh, a Skyfisher. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna play the Cleric out, and the next turn I'm gonna play the Core Skyfisher, bounce the Kabira Crossroad, and replay it, gain 2. The only downside is that I don't get to hold up a Pitfall Trap. Wow. In fact, maybe now I just cast out the Shield Mate to play around burn. Yeah, let's do that instead. Also, the Shield Mate can just trade away with the Ruinous Minotaur once I get another ally on the battlefield, which I can absolutely do. I can bounce the Core Sky, or rather, I can play the Core Skyfisher, bounce the Cleric, and replay the Cleric, making the McKindy Shield Mate a 2/5. I mean, I'm going to happily let the opponent attack me if they want. Right now, I've already gained 5 life, and they have to sacrifice a land anytime Ruinous Minotaur attacks. I do think this card is okay. This is a format where this type of card is absolutely fine because of the how much damage it puts out, but versus me, it's going to be a little bit more awkward for sure. especially when the opponent's already on a mulligan to 5. Throwing away their resources is not to be taken lightly, for sure. Alright, Shatter Skull Giant to play. Let's see if the opponent wants to attack in now. And obviously they cast this pre-combat in case they want to attack and have to sacrifice a land. Venturing Gear is interesting, but let's just make the play that I was talking about. Core Skyfisher. Bouncing. Oh, man. Now, again, it's super tempting to bounce the Ondu Cleric here to grow our Shieldmate to a 2/5. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to bounce the Cleric. I'm going to play the Swamp and play out the Adventuring Gear. Not equipping it, though, which should be a telltale sign to the opponent. But I think I like this play. Now, I might obviously take a decent hit here, but that's okay, given that we have so much life gain potential in our deck. I don't mind taking a hit here for 9. Okay, red-black. Red-black is like the boogeyman of the format. This could be a Burst Lightning, sure. And since they did this pre-combat, we get to actually stave off any attack. So now, not only do we counter the Burst Lightning, but both of our creatures have pro-red, which means any attack by them is just terrible. Oh, this is not what you want to do, friend. I don't know if the opponent realized that my creatures now have pro-red. So they're not going to kill either of my creatures, and we get to eat their 4/3 for free. So Brave the Elements just killed a 4/3 and ate a Burst Lightning. Doesn't get much better than that. I guess now that they did that, we can go on the offensive playing the Hagra Crocodile here. They only have 1 card left in their hand. Yeah. Yep, it's just not target. It is all of your white creatures. That's another thing about the flashback formats. A lot of people haven't played them very much. And so reading is definitely key. Reading is next level tech, as they would say, whoever they is. Not sure what the opponent can really do at this point to come back from this. Alright, Tuk Tuk Grunt's not bad. Just gets blocked by my shield bait, but not bad. And like I said before, I'll happily take 5 from the Ruinous Minotaur. And that might just be game. Put the Adventuring Gear on the Core Skyfisher. Play Arid Mesa, double trigger landfall. Sack the Arid Mesa, get a Plains, double trigger landfall. That's 13 damage. We'll give the Hagra Crocodile flying for good measure. And bashing for 14. Also gain 2 life and make our Shieldmate a 2/5. Alright, you're at 4. Crocodile is lethal by itself. Core Skyfisher is lethal with any land play. And a heart stabber mosquito is the best the opponent can muster, so a land will be game. Or any removal spell for the spider mosquito. Alright, and that'll do her. Double landfall trigger makes both of our flyers lethal. Alright, and we're looking good. Up a game here in round 2. I mean, having a 4-3 would definitely be nice, but yeah, it probably didn't matter in the end. Alright, versus the opponent's deck. Do we want to bring anything in? I don't think so. We don't have to worry about double spreading seas anymore, so that's not really a thing. And we're actually pretty well set up against this type of deck because we have the double Pitfall Trap and triple Undo Cleric. Yeah, we'll run it back and try to take the game 2. Alright, game 2 of the second round. We're on the draw and have a pretty decent hand. Turn 1 Step Links, turn 2 Cleric. Turn 3 we get to hold up Pitfall Trap. So let's do the business. Do the business. No plays from the opponent. Ooh. Oh, I guess that doesn't actually do anything right now because I can't equip it before playing a land, so. We'll attack in for 2, and then we get to Undo Cleric. Next turn I get to play the Adventuring Gear, equip it, and then play the Piranha Marsh. It's going to make Step Links a 6-7? Holy crap. Or a 4-5? Holy crap. No plays from the opponent. That's a pretty good sign for us. Okay. I'm going to equip it to the Cleric to spread out our threats a bit. So we get 2 landfall triggers and then the Piranha Marsh trigger. And assuming none of our creatures die, opponent's falling to 12 on turn 3. Pretty good. Maybe I should have left it on the Step Links, though. That way we could have attacked into as a 4-5 next turn. Yeah, that's probably a mistake on my part. Ooh, Skyfisher's nice, too. Let's rebuy a land for next turn. I'm going to happily offer the trade of Undo Cleric for your Shadow Skull Giant. If the opponent would like to make that trade, I'm happy. And then we'll play the Big Croc. The Big Croc. Having your first play on turn 4 in this format is just asking for a concession, really. Ooh, Kazula Warlord. Definitely a good one. That's the one we passed during the draft. Basically a 4-4 for 5, but it puts a 1-1 counter on each other ally you control as well. So, nice solid card for sure. So we're going to move the Adventuring Gear to the Step Links now. And then play the Core Skyfisher. Return the Piranha Marsh. Play the Piranha Marsh. And make both our Step Links and Crocodile able to trade or eat either of their creatures. Conveniently leaving up the Pitfall Trap, but I don't think the opponent is going to be attacking in, so yeah. We're trading our 1-drop for opponent's 5-drop. Seems pretty dang good to me. Opponent just dead to the Core Skyfisher next turn. If they don't have a removal spell for it. What do we got? Maybe Inferno Trap or something? Magma Rift. Okay, that takes care of the Skyfisher. But I can equip the Ondu Cleric now and just play a land. And that's also good enough if the opponent doesn't have anything. Oh, hello, Obnixilis. How are you? Adventuring Gear doing a ton of work here. And if the opponent does have a removal spell, we're still trading away with our last creature and developing at a 2/4, which will be lethal with another land. But looks like we got there. GG's, and we're on to the finals with our black-white, I don't know if I would call it aggro, but life-gainy deck. Stay tuned, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Alrighty, round 3 of this triple Zendikar draft. We are on the play. And yeah, pretty good hand. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. Doesn't get much better than having a turn 1 step links. Been getting pretty lucky with that step links. But hey, I will take it. And we are playing against black and Blade of the Bloodsheaf. I don't actually think this card is very good, but it definitely has some merit. I mean, when it's good, it's great, but generally speaking, it's just not very good. Luckily for us, we have the Sanctifiers to take care of that later. And we get to bash down very aggressive here. Question, do I want to tap down the... I don't think the Bloodseeker is the creature that I want to tap down. Honestly, I think I'll just attack in with both, and if the opponent wants to trade for the Cleric, I am more than happy to let that happen. And then I'm actually going to cast out the Sanctifier here as just a 2/3. I know I could wait a turn to kill the Blade, but I think I'm going to be providing such offense that I don't need to worry about it. Okay, opponent's also on black-white, but Piranha Marsh was a very good draw there. Like, we'll tap down their creature now that it's equipped and to play around like a Disfigure and just bash in. Opponent's already on 9 with nothing but a Bloodseeker equipped on the battlefield. At this point, I'm probably just... Oh, geez. Well, that is one of the best rares in the format. That's going to quickly take over the game. I think I'm still just going to get aggro here, deal 5 points of damage, and put the opponent at 4. But, yowza, that's a beating. Well, now our game plan is to find Obnixilis and draw Arid Mesa. Cartographer is going to get a land for Emeria Angel. And yeah, this is bad for us. Oh, this is real bad for us. And just like that, one card single-handedly brings the opponent back in the game. We're going to hold the land here for landfall purposes and just pass. Sure, Ghoul-Draw's Vampire. Yeah, just single-handedly lose to Emeria Angel is kind of gross. I guess, you know what I should have done? I should have maybe waited on the Hookmaster. Oh man, that's kind of loose versus an arrow volley, but I might have just wanted to... Hey, there we go. I was going to say, I might have just wanted to attack, like, trade in for the Bloodseeker and not play the Hookmaster on it, but again, that's just so greedy versus, like, a Disfigure, so I think it was correct to do so. Obnixilis, obviously insane. This will put the opponent to 1, and then a core Skyfisher will even win the game. Yeah, we'll pass. Land wins, Skyfisher wins because it bounces the Piranha Marsh. Not many things can get rid of Obnixilis. Journey to Nowhere is basically it. And the opponent's trying to get aggressive here. They could have a bold defense, and so I think that's something that we want to try to play around. And perhaps just block like this. In fact, bold defense gives +3/+3? Let me look this up real quick. It might just be +2/+2. If kicked instead, creatures you control get +2/+2. Okay, so that would mean 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, I need to block more here. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2, 4, 6, 8. That'd be 14 damage. Alright, so not dead to a bold defense here. It looks like they didn't have bold defense, or if they did, they're waiting on it. Gatekeeper of Malik here. Okay, we'll sack our McKindy Shieldmate since that can't attack. Opponent's on 1 card in hand. Got a lot of outs to win here this turn if they don't deal with our Obnixilis. Oh, and Hogger Crocodile is probably one of the worst. Oh no. Alright, well. Attacking in, making them chump block. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I go to 1 here. I think I block here. Pitfall trap this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I go to 2. I go to 2. Okay. We're not dead. We need to find a land still or a core Skyfisher. Oh, this is insane. Oh, they do have the bold defense after. Alright, yeah. We lost. Did not find the land for Obnixilis and instead drew a complete whiff in Hogger Crocodile. Wow. That was it. Wow, we just weren't even drawing it anywhere close. That was a sick game. Man, they did have the bold defense though. I'm glad I was smart enough to play around it, but yeah. Lost to or rather lost to Angel and then almost got bailed out by Obnixilis, but not quite. Alright, let's run it back. Okay, game 2 of the finals. We're down a game after losing to Emeria Angel. And yeah, this hand's fine. It's definitely not amazing by any means, but certainly not a mulligan. We have Journey to Nowhere for Emeria Angel if the opponent should have it. Really would like to hit a land, obviously. That's actually great for me that they have Lacerator here. Lead with Cleric. Because they're going to start taking damage, and because we have so much life gain in our hand, we're going to be able to keep making them lose 1 life. So this is great. Not drawing a land there is not so good, but I get to attack in, play a 2-3, replay the land, and then hold up Brave the Elements, which is nice. Gatekeeper of Malik here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So it's going to make their Vampire Lacerator a 4/4? Oy, oy, oy. Alright. Well, like I said, when Blade of the Blood Chief is good, it is very good, and opponent, I think, getting a little bit on the lucky end of things. That's not true. They have a ton of vampires. They're missing white, though. It's very possible they're just missing it, or they have a ton of, I think we're happy to trade here, right? Actually, I could take 2. Go to 13. Their Lacerator. They can't block that. Can I race this? I might be able to race this. Yeah, I think we're going to hold on to the Hookmaster and save open with Brave the Elements. I think I'm just going to play Core Outfitter here and pass. Holding up Brave the Elements, pro black. Try to blow them out. Okay. Alright, well, this is not good news for us, but come on, just have 2 white cards in your hand. Oh no. Do you have a land? No, no land. Okay, this is good. This is good for us. We get to blow them out huge here. Pro black. Eat 2 of their creatures. And then we get to Journey to Nowhere, their Gatekeeper. Alright. And now we looking spicy. We looking spicy. Alright, equip. Passion for 3, I guess. Sure. Attack you down to 1. And I think we're just playing out the Sanctifier as another lethal creature. Like, what's the opponent going to do here? Realistically. Have 3 Vampire Bites in their hand? Could be, but unlikely. Alright, and a very, very quick game 2, as opponent was stuck off of, presumably white, although they played out most of the cards in their hand. I feel like these Hogger Crocodiles are just not good enough in this matchup, and that I probably want to have a Giant Scorpion instead. Alright, let's ship it like this and go to a game 3. Game 3 of the finals, we are on the draw, but we have a pretty sick hand. Step Links, and Skyfisher, and Pitfall Trap. But has a Core Duelist on turn 1, though. Alright. I might actually just Nimbus Wings on turn 2. Oh no! They found a Blood of the Blade Chief. Or Blade of the Blood Chief again. Yeah, let's do this. Let's Nimbus Wing, start bashing in for 3 in the air every turn. Core Skyfisher next turn bounces planes, replays of planes for Pitfall Trap. Seems good. Also, opponent missed a land drop. Welcome to Zendikar, kids. Welcome to Zendikar. Oh, yeah. I'm actually going to play the Swamp here to hold up. Just hard cast Pitfall Trap. Since we're attacking with both of our creatures, and since so the opponent's probably attacking with both of theirs. I'm definitely a little bit flooded, though. Oof. Yeah, Hideous End's kind of gross. Alright, well, we'll Pitfall Trap the Double Striker. And we found Obnixilis. Perfect. Whew. So again, I'm not going to cast it next turn, but I cast it the turn after. And if the opponent doesn't have a flyer or a removal spell here, they just get wrecked. Also, I might just win, right? If I draw, well, not that, but something better. Yeah, we're going to wait on the Obnixilis because it's just lethal by itself. Or the opponent might die to Step Links if they don't find an answer. What a silly format this is. If you've never tried Zendikar before and you want to try it on Magic Online, draft a quick deck, right? Draft, like there are going to be 6 drops and 7 drops that look very tempting. Try to shy away from them if you can. I mean, yeah, opponent dead here. In multitudes of ways. And just like that, we are 3-0, baby. Obnixilis, very good, obviously, and some lucky draws, but hey, there's a triple Zendikar draft for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Check out all of our other content here on YouTube and Numot Gaming. This is Kenji, Numot the Nummy, signing out for now. Enjoy the rest of your day.